and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and today we're going to talk about a subject that might come as a surprise to you, but Thomas Nelson Community College has a very active athletic program, and I have with me the new athletic director, Chad Smith. Welcome.
Yes, welcome. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
You know, this is a story of change and growth over a few years, but it's also really a story of change and growth in the whole college experience for today's kids. As community colleges become a first choice for an awful lot of folks, they want more of a college experience, and that includes athletics, right?
Yes. We've started our athletic program. We're just joined the National Junior College Athletic Association, NJCAA, this past fall. With our baseball team. And our baseball team has been part of the college for about 7 years, and we also offer men and women's basketball, which has been part of the college now well over 15 years. And so we are now trying to attract students who still would like to continue their education and complete their associate's degree while also completing their opportunity to play sports in those areas.
You know, we know that sports is important for a whole lot of reasons. I mean, it teaches kids teamwork, it's a motivation to stay in school, it's health for the future, it's exercise. You know, there's a ton of benefits. But community college kind of used to be viewed as the place people go back while they're working, the part-time student, the second choice, second chance. And now, I mean, so many of my kids' friends start at community college. It's affordable, it's a good buy. I mean, I was talking to a mom in the restaurant the other day, and she said, you know, it just makes sense. There's no point in spending money you don't have to spend to get that college education the first 2 years.
Right. With the Virginia Community College system, the main components are about affordability and accessibility. Affordability and looking at a credit hour is less than $150 per credit hour. So a student is relatively paying for 1 3-credit hour class and looking at less than $450. And so in paying for 12 credit hours, a student is keeping their cost at under around, I think it's about $1,500, $1,700. So a full-time student is paying well under $1,700.
But that's less than the meal plan at a residential college. But yeah, it's a huge difference. And so you are attracting students that didn't used to necessarily even think of Thomas Nelson.
Right. They didn't consider, at times, students would look at it as if they we're not moving on to higher education, but that's changing now. And so now with us joining the NJCAA, we have a lot of students who are coming out of high school and have an opportunity to consider, again, education as well as athletics.
And again, you said you've had athletics for a long time, but they were informal club sport, intramural sport, like, you know, maybe what my kid does at William & Mary in terms of a club sport, because he's not in the actual sport.
Right.
But more casual, lower level, probably competition.
We now offer intramural and club sports. Those students typically would now only need to take 6 credit hours, 9 credit hours, and the GPA requirements are not as a stickler as the NJCAA. Those students who are playing in the competitive sports, again, men and women's basketball, baseball, we're looking at another sport for females. Those students are required to take 12 credit hours. They must maintain a certain GPA each semester. They have to have what's called an academic progress review. They have to complete, after going from the first year, showing that they have 24 credits the second year. So there's when you look at it, when you say NJCAA, you take the J out, it's the NCAA.
It is very similar, or you know, to the same rules as athletes at a 4-year college.
Yes.
So who do you guys compete against?
Well, for our basketball team this weekend, they'll be going up to play Hartford Community College out of Bel Air, Maryland. They've played this past fall. A couple of colleges in North Carolina. They played in a classic down at Pitt Community College. They played New River Community College, which is in the VCCS.
My hometown.
Oh, wow, okay. So we play a lot of schools.
So there are community schools. Are there, what my sports, community college, what my sports department used to call JUCOs.
JUCOs, yes.
Junior colleges
junior college,
for the uninitiated.
Yes. In the state of Virginia right now, Northern Virginia Community College, Patrick Henry Community College, and Danville have teams, and now Thomas Nelson. Hopefully some other schools will join. But there are a lot of teams in the state of North Carolina and in Maryland. The Maryland system it's called the Maryland JUCO system, and North Carolina, they don't have a name yet. So we do a lot of traveling as well, and that's very important for students to understand that they have to balance not only the academics, but it's also the strenuous, competitive sports of traveling. So we have a full-fledged program.
That's and an awful lot of college students and community college students also have jobs because they're helping contribute to their education or potentially responsible for the cost of their education. So for student athletes, this would be even trickier.
Challenge, right. Okay. One of the things where we're going into our recruiting is letting students know that we cannot dictate their financial obligations and family obligations. So we would like for them to, if they need to work. But because of this, the strength of our schedule, the time, it's really looking at books and then playing ball.
During the season,
During
at least.
the season,
and
right.
then maybe there's some more flexibility the rest of the time.
And that's the reason why we offer the intramural club level, so we can give students the option, because if they can't commit to that, to the 12 credit hours and all of the time being on the road traveling, it would be better for them to potentially consider the intramural or club sports.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's talk to some kids,
Yes.
some students,
good student
since
athletes.
You brought a couple along. And we're going to break, and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
But thank you for bringing your students so we can talk to them too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chad. And we'll be right back. Hi, thank you. And we are back with two of Thomas Nelson's student athletes. We have Drew Walton and Robbie Edwards. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You guys are both graduates of Hampton City Schools. I want to throw that out there right off the bat. And back in Hampton for your higher education. Let me ask each of you just a little bit, and I'm going to pick on you, Robbie, because you're sitting closest to me, but how did you end up at Thomas Nelson, and how's it working out for you?
I ended up at Thomas Nelson. Coach Smith contacted me about halfway through my baseball season and was telling me that, they're having a new baseball season, and they just became in JUCO.
And that was the very first, second year, I guess, but they had just done it already.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I didn't know that. I didn't know they had a baseball team.
Yeah,
so
I think a lot of people don't.
Exactly.
We're educating them here.
Yeah, it's a good experience. But then I talked to him, and I talked to the assistant coach, who was Coach Moore, and I really liked what everything was going on. So I decided to go through with it, and it's been working out good. They have it's nice people there, teachers. They're all involved, and they want to help you, get to the four-year college or whatever, like the real job experience afterwards. So.
And you looked at a four-year college, and you were pretty seriously thinking about Roanoke College.
Yes, ma'am.
What were your decision factors?
It just came down to the cost of going, and when you really look at it, you go there and you have a good 4 years, but you come out with so much debt.
Yeah, it's incredible now.
So you might spend the next 5 years of your life paying it off, Yeah. But if you go to a community college like Thomas Nelson, you don't have that much debt. It's it's very not expensive at all. So it was just the cost. I couldn't really afford it at the time. So Thomas Nelson was a good choice for me, and that's where we're at now.
Okay, and you're the atypical, or what used to be atypical, and probably is standard now. You graduated from high school and you started the next fall at Thomas Nelson, and you made that choice. You bounced around a little bit more,
Just
not a lot,
bit.
Drew.
Yes, ma'am. When I came out of college, when I came out of high school,
What high school? I think we should throw
Bethel.
that out there. Bethel,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
you were Kecoughtan. I don't remember if we
Yes,
said,
ma'am.
but yes, okay.
and so they had a different road than Robbie, but I went to Richard Bland College for a year, played basketball. It was a new program. It was a great learning experience for me. Didn't really work out the way I thought it would, but it's okay though. I mean, kind of expensive on the high end. It wasn't really a good fit for me. So when I made a decision with my parents to come back to Thomas Nelson, it gave me a fresh start. So figured out they had a basketball team. Wasn't really sure if I wanted to continue to play. I wasn't really feeling it at the time, but
Really?
yes, ma'am, I really wasn't. But I said, you know what? I love this game. Let me give it another shot. And it worked out to be really good for me. My grades turned out to be really good. Got another job at home, and everything just started going straight. Everything just started clicking. And now that the team is looking better, it's like we have a brotherhood. It's like a big old family out there. We always got each other's back. You can never always count on each other. Coach Ant, Miss Jackson, Coach Smith as well. So I like where we're going.
So speaking of where we're going, where do you think you're going? You're going to have 2 years under your belt. Now,
ma'am.
that might not mean you're quite ready
Yeah.
if you struggled a little bit the first year, but what will happen to you after you get your associate's degree at Thomas Nelson?
Well, I have plans to go to apprentice school. I've always wanted to go there. I mean, I like the facility. We scrimmage them every now and then, and I feel like it'll be a good fit for me. It's close to home, so nice providing job, and continue my education in business administration as well.
They are it's an amazing program.
Yes,
it
ma'am.
really is, and it's been around for a long time and has that mix of academics and executives, and you still get to play sports.
Yes, ma'am.
And career path. You know, a lot of times I think college students go to college, and you know, I came out with a liberal arts degree and I was amazingly able to get a job, but it's not as always a career path. Whereas if you're looking at the apprentice school, you kind of know where you're going.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Now, you have a little more time,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
you're thinking about what you're going to major in or what you're going to do. What would your goals be?
Right now I'm a business major, like Drew, and I hoped after another year at Thomas Nelson I want to go play baseball at a hopefully Division I school and continue business. So I'm not quite sure where I want to go as of right now, but hopefully it all works out.
You know, and that is not an unusual path. An awful lot of athletes have always gone to junior colleges. It's just that, at least in Virginia, our community colleges weren't on that junior college sports level. And now we are, as Coach Smith said, and it's not just Thomas Nelson. There's 3 or 4 others in the state. And the way people do college is changing. And it has to. As you said, you can't graduate and have 10 years of debt at such, I mean, I paid off my college loans. It took 10 years, but it wasn't nearly the amount of money it is now. I was still able to pay for a car loan and rent and all those other things. And I don't know how people do it now.
It's hard.
But you guys have found a path that's working for you. Is it, okay, your parents are probably going to watch this, so maybe I shouldn't ask, but is it hard staying at home? Is it hard living with your parents, or is it you were able to make that transition to being kind of a grown-up and still kind of in their house? It's hard for parents. I'm one. I see it.
Well, since I'm a little older than Robbie, but it's not really as hard as people think it is. But I mean, you still butt heads a little bit. I mean, you always want to have that conversation about,
Oh, yeah.
you're getting older now, you can do more. I mean, my parents, they don't really hit me with that much, but there's gonna be a time where I'm gonna have to just go, you know. But as of right now, for my situation, there's really no place I can go right now. So I need them, you know what I mean? So I rely on them more than I really do, than I think about it. So in due time, there'll be a time where we're gonna have a conversation where it's gonna be time for me to go on. But as a college right now and living and being in school, I have to be there. So.
And like he said, I just turned 18, so I'm pretty young, so they couldn't kick me out quite yet. But yeah, it's not really as hard as some people might think it is, like in past. But you know, we do butt heads sometimes. That's how parents and kids are. But
Oh, yeah. We don't like to let go,
Yeah.
but we also don't. I mean, we know you need to transition.
You can still be
I don't want to
independent.
have to wake you up for
Yeah.
school in the morning, you know, kind of a
Exactly.
thing. Want you to be self-motivated,
Yes.
but also safe. It's hard on both sides, I'm sure.
and I think Drew would contest to this that it's not. We might live in the same house, but they don't. But it's not as strict as it was. You know, when you graduate, you're an adult now,
Most
I
so
definitely.
understand you're an adult,
Most
sort of.
definitely.
so you're
But we
kind.
still want you to make good choices.
Still want you to make good choices.
You're
though.
kind of on your own, but you still live at home. You know, so it's not as bad.
You're more independent, as what you say, if you were in high school. Because in
Yeah.
high school, they're really on you because every day,
Oh, geez.
what you do, you know, coming home, because it's like a routine. But when you're in college, you kind of let you get a little bit of freedom. It's not necessarily everything that you ask for, like you're living in your own place, but you can get along with it. So it's not that hard to
Yeah.
deal with.
So you guys are managing the GPA that you have to have, the course load that you have to have, jobs.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a job
No-
too? or
no, ma'am.
Not yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a job.
You know, I think learning that balance, it's huge. It's what gets you into
Gotta be-
adulthood
gotta be
and what
committed.
gets you ready.
Yeah.
Does sports help you with that? I mean, is it part of what keeps you motivated?
Yes, ma'am. It makes me it keeps me looking forward to something, you know. Like ever since I was in high school, I would look forward to just going to practice. So I would look forward to the game. So it'll get me through the week, you know. So you may have days in this class and you have a hard time in class, and the test is, you feel like test coming up, it's like, oh man, you get nervous. But then it's like, well, if I do good on my test, I may do good in my game tonight. You know, that's how I look at it. Then I look for Thomas Nelson, when you have games on the weekend, it's like you get through the week of hard coursework, and then it's just time for fun. So you look at it as, oh, I completed the first step, now it's time for the next step. It's time for me to be free, let me do me, you know?
So having that to look forward to and being involved in athletics really does help you, force you, motivate you, whatever that balance is, keep up with the academics and keep your goals in sight.
Well, yeah, because I think if you truly love the sport and you truly want to play it, you know, you're going to do the work in class. And if that, I mean, that really does motivate you, like Drew was saying, so it does help.
So do you think, are you in contact with anybody back from your high schools? I mean, you're pretty darn recent, so you know a lot of people on the team. Are you talking to them about the options that they have, that they may not, like you, may not know are out there?
Yeah, I have a couple of guys who went to like low Division III schools, and one of them in particular he's not really starting. So I'm trying to talk to him and say, you know, you can come here, you know, and potentially start, and, you know, earn a reputation and name, and not have that much debt. So hopefully, you know, he can do what he wants to do. So just give him the option.
Yeah, be part.
I have a few friends back in high school who left and went to bigger colleges. But some of them, honestly, I can honestly say that they're actually holding their own out there. And I'm proud of them, you know.
Yeah, there's a different path for each of us.
Yeah.
It's just important that people know what their options are and can figure out which one is the best fit for them.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for coming
it.
so much, Robbie and Drew.
me.
Nice to meet you, and you guys are a great inspiration for today's students, so I hope
Thank
they
you.
watch this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Again, we've done shows on Thomas Nelson and the academics and the workforce programs and the 2+2, but I didn't know, and maybe you didn't know, about the options for student athletes as well. Thanks for watching.